Today, I have a list, a handful of things you shouldn't do to your RV. They're pretty simple, but they can really save you from a lot of hassle. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. Now, we're gonna start off with something that everybody does, and it's connecting the water to your RV. You think that you have your water filter, you have a hose, you have a pressure regulator, you connect all that up, you turn on the water to your RV, Bob's your uncle, you're done. You have water in the RV. But you might have missed a really critical step in there. If it's a new filter, you're actually supposed to flush those out. So instead of directly connecting it to your RV right away, you connect it to a hose, put your filter on the end, and flush it out. I usually do that a couple of times to make sure that you get all the stuff in there out. You don't want that going into the RV. So you're using a water filter thinking that you're stopping things from coming into the RV, and you might have just injected a bunch of stuff using that filter into the RV. So really simple thing, don't forget to flush out your filter before you connect it to the RV. Now, number two is don't use the wrong tool. You might look at these and think these are pretty much the same thing, but they're not. This one is an impact driver and this one is a drill driver. There's a lot of things on the RV that we can raise and lower, bring up and down. We can even raise and lower our electric ground control or even bring in and out the awning if we needed to on an electric awning. But the main area that I see people using an impact driver instead of a drill is usually on the towable RVs, raising and lowering the stabilizers. The problem is the impact can actually cause damage to a lot of those things that we just talked about. If you're gonna be raising and lowering or bringing in and out, you probably don't wanna be using an impact. You want to use a drill driver. The impact can cause damage in those areas because it can hit it with a lot of torque and force. So even though you might have the adapter that just fits right inside an impact driver and you think that you're good to go, it's better to actually take that out and put it into a drill. This is the right tool for the job, and especially if you're gonna be coming in late at night, you're pulling in at 11 o'clock, you're setting up and there's people around, you're leaving early in the morning, you wanna hit the road quick, and so you might be bringing some of that stuff in and out using an impact, and you hear that. It's just better to use a drill. It's better for your equipment and it's not as noisy. So use the right tool. Now this one, I hope all seasoned RVers know about this one, but if you're new to RVing, this one's for you. Don't leave your awning out in the wind. If you're gonna be gone from your RV, it's best to bring that awning in. If you've been RVing for a decent amount of time, I'm sure you've seen that scenario where somebody leaves, the wind picks up, and that awning is just getting ripped to shreds and destroyed. And with the awnings nowadays being mostly electric out there, you can't bring it in for a neighbor. You have to wait until they get back to bring that awning in, and it might be too late. If it is a manual one, you can always help somebody out if you see that happening, and you can bring in that awning. And really, the same thing goes for rain. They can handle a light rain, a moderate rain, but not a heavy rain. And if it is gonna rain, we always tilt our awning so that it's not gonna hold any water and it just sheds and sheets right off. You don't want it trying to hold any of that heavy water on there that's gonna potentially break the arms. But talking about the awning, that brings us to today's sponsor, which is Moonshade. This is a portable, versatile awning that you can put just about anywhere. If you ever wanted one in a different spot or on another vehicle, this is that solution. You can now mount this to the RV to give you that shade anywhere you want it. One of the main ways to be able to mount this is to use the suction cups, and then you can just clip right into them. And once you get the poles attached, you can just tilt it right into place. You can mount it back to the RV, or it has legs that can go to the ground, and then you can stake it off so it's not gonna move. This is really just taking one of the more popular items from the overlanding van life and bringing it into the full-size RVs. They do have two different sizes. They have a 9x7 and the XL, which is a 12x9. It is quite large. So while it does cover a large area, it does still fit into a bag the size of a normal camping chair, but gives you the flexibility to give you an awning on the back of your RV if that's where the view was, or if you had a lot of heat on the side or trying to protect a window or the fridge. You can set it up on the back side of your RV and have an awning where you never had one before. Even if you had a site that had a lot of trees, you can mount it in the trees. It's pretty versatile that way. RVs today typically have fixed awnings on them, which are great to use, but having something like this gives you a lot of options to put the awning where you choose and not just be limited to the awning that's on your RV. It usually takes me about less than 5 minutes to set it up. All of the links down in the description to the original one and to the XL Moonshade. Now this next one, I have an interesting solution to the don't that I haven't seen before, but works really well for us. And the don't is, don't leave the things inside of your cabinets unsecured. Basically, what I'm getting at is when you're going down the road, and for us, if we hit the brakes hard, this cabinet can open up. Sure, it has the catch that it's supposed to stay closed during travel, but if these cups tip and hit it, it can open this, and then these cups are falling on the ground. And there are some good solutions that are out there, like you can get bins to be able to put things in, but I don't always want to put everything in a bin. You can also get torsion bars so that you can put them in the front to kind of hold some things in. That works well in the fridge, but I don't want to have torsion bars everywhere that I want to make sure things don't fall out of my cabinets. Another one is getting the child locks that you can tie these two doors together so that they actually can't open. But sometimes we have problems with this one too, because it's pretty loose, but it doesn't have another door that we can tie that to. So what we have done is we have put in these magnetic child safety locks on the back. So you don't have to have something that you're moving every single time and finding a different place to store it. We now have these magnet catches on the back. So I press this button, I close it, it's not opening anymore until I put a magnet on the door, and then it can open it. And so that I don't have to use that magnet every time, is there's just a little switch in there. You flip that over, and now it deactivates that little device. So that way I can just use my cabinets as normal now without having to have that magnet. I do kind of recommend having two of these magnets. If you lose it, then it kind of becomes a problem. You just need a magnet to open it up, but it's just way easier if you always keep this on hand, not in one of those magnetized locked doors. But I gotta tell you, this is one of my favorite kind of mod hacks because there's nothing that's in the way or gonna be problematic, and it's just so simple. You don't even have to look for anything other than keeping that magnet on hand. Great little hack. Let's move to the next one. Now, this one, I regret to say that I am guilty of this one, and it's not properly strapping down your propane tank when transporting it. So with towable RVs like travel trailers and fifth wheels, you have portable propane tanks. So you can take them in the RV, take them out, you can go have them filled. And when you put them in the bed of the truck, that's when they're typically not properly strapped down. Inside the RV, there's usually a restraint system. For us, we have straps so that it secures it in there. This thing isn't gonna be rolling around. The two easy go-tos that a lot of people do are bungee straps. I'm guilty of that one. Put a bungee around it, keep it in there, it's gonna hold it in place, but if you hit the brakes hard, this thing is now gonna be rolling around dangerously in the bed of the truck. The other popular thing is using like a milk crate. So you put it in the milk crate and it keeps it from tipping over as easily, but it's still, if you don't strap it in, it's still not strapped down properly. So this is really simple. Just grab a strap, strap your propane tank in when you're transporting it, and cinch that down. It's often overlooked, but really it's so easy to do. And I prefer it over the milk crate. The milk crate thing kind of keeps it from tipping over, like I said, but what are you doing with the milk crate when you don't have the propane in it? So usually you're gonna have stuff stored in it, so you're just gonna dump that out, and then you're gonna have to put the stuff back in it. It's more of a hassle than just grabbing a strap. So many of these things are just so simple, you just take an extra second to do it right. If you haven't seen my previous video on managing and storing the ratchet straps to make it that much easier, definitely worth checking out. So out of curiosity, I would love to hear some of the don'ts that you have. There's definitely more don'ts out there, like don't put your sewer hose on the tabletop at a campground. Don't clean out your sewer hose at the faucet. So really the list can go on, but I'd love to hear from you. What are some of your don'ts? And also, if you're interested in that moonshade, again, links are gonna be down in the description. So if you're interested in some of our other tips that we have out there, check out some of these other videos that give you a lot of great tips for RVing. So I think that's gonna do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope that it helped you out in some way. So if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video. Take care.